Hello, everybody. I'm here to speak what's on my heart. My heart's been heavy. I don't have any makeup on. I'm not trying to impress anybody or get followers with my looks. I want you to listen to the message. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. And the silence is deafening. The silence is deafening. If you are a light worker or claim to be a light worker, and put yourself out there as somebody that wants to help with the evolution of consciousness, 3D to 5D, awakening, and there's lots of words for it. Ascended light workers know that all humans are equal. And the silence is just deafening. There has not been the inclusivity and cultural diversity and many light worker feeds. I'm calling them Whiteworkers. If you call yourself a light worker and you have ignored and not posted anything about the greatest shift in human consciousness on Earth in at least 1,000 years, you're not a light worker. We're extremely disconnected from collective consciousness, spirit, and reality. And you're probably just posting to appease your followers. Now, I want to talk about that because you look back on my other posts, I've not been shy about my support for Black Lives Matter. I don't have any problem with that. I believe in the movement, and it's about time that more people got on board and started to get it. It's not our politicians or the government that's going to do it for us. It's the job of the light worker to help with the shift in human consciousness, which is what's happening right now. And one post on Blackout Tuesday is not adequate. There's a massive unfollowing that's going on right now of white workers. If you know, and so I want to address the fears. There's always a fear behind why somebody does something or doesn't do something. And I know what some of the fears are, so I want to address that. The fear of losing followers, okay? First of all, the people that are going to jump on your page and start hating and, criticizing you are much lower vibration. And they're probably, if you are an ascended light worker, they're not going to vibrate with you and they don't want your services. They're only there to troll your page and they have an agenda. And their agenda is not to use your services. The other fear is people are afraid of the conflict, afraid of negative flashback. And that's easiest way to deal with that is, it's called a block button. You can give a person a chance, but if they show up on my page and they're just pumping hate and George Floyd is alive, they don't deserve to follow me. I don't need people like that on my page. I'm going to be fine regardless. I'm not led by fear. A light worker is not led by fear. And they answer the call when action needs to be taken. I had somebody message me today that said, and I looked at her page, it was all whitewashed, nothing at all addressing anything going on with the current murders and protests and injustices. And she said, light workers don't deal with negativity. She was young. She was in her 20s. I'm 49 now. So, she's got some growing to do. I've been at this for some time. I'm not a newbie. I'm not doing this just for the money. I'm doing this because I have a calling and it's my purpose. And I'm not afraid to ruffle some feathers. I've been messaging some of my fellow light workers that have whitewashed pages and inviting them to post more diverse content. Again, the silence is deafening for Black and brown people. If you're not able to take a stand publicly or you're afraid to address it, then you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. This is a resistance that needs to take place on many different energy levels. And if, your toxic positivity avoiding difficulties, negative, that's spiritual bypassing. Yeah, light workers have to go through the dark to transmute it into the light. So if you're one of those light workers that's, oh, it's all love and light, that's all what light workers do, you're completely missing the point and you're a fraud. You're lying to the public and you're lying to yourself. Light workers are here to bring the darkness to the light and then transmute that. Not sit back and wait for someone else to bring it to the light or talk about it. This is not an issue that needs to be placed on the shoulders of black and brown people. Okay? It needs to be placed on the shoulders of who built the system. And it wasn't black and brown people. It wasn't Native Americans. It wasn't anybody else but the white Europeans that came here and slaughtered Indians and brought slaves over. And our country was built upon the foundation of the sin of slavery. And that culture is still very much alive. If it hasn't affected you, that doesn't mean it's not real. If you say, well, I'm not racist, I didn't have anything to do with it, that's a cop-out. We need action. We need people that are not afraid to stand up like a light worker should. A light worker's job is to help with ascension. From everyone loves to say, oh, I can channel, and there's lots of people out there that think they're very ego-based. They are disconnected from reality. They're just straight up in the 5D, and they forget that being our part of our job, being human, we have to integrate those spiritual beliefs. We came here to help change the world, not sit on the back and just, pretend that we live in a world of rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes you have to stand up for what you believe in and take a stand. So if you can't take a stand, then sit your ass down and don't pretend that you're a light worker. Okay? It's time. And I say that with love. I say that with love for people of all colors. I have the DNA of every culture in me, except for Australian. That's the only one. Ascension from 3D to 5D is to help people go from a perception of lack and separation and judgment, and which is what we live in now, towards the 5D, which is a concept of that what's good for one is good for all, that we're not afraid that there isn't enough for me, that there is enough for all. So you don't have to be afraid that if there's equal rights, you're going to lose what you have. That is the fear mongers trying to keep you stuck. Okay? There's a lot. I'm not even going to get into some of the excuses that some of the racists have, but some of them aren't even worth your time. And when you post about it, those people will identify themselves. So you can get them off your page, and what I do is I'll look at who likes a hateful comment, and they're gone. I don't need them in my space. I can share my message, and if they don't like it, they're welcome to leave. They're following me. I'm not following them. I don't follow people. I don't chase people. I align within and let the universe bring to me what's meant for me, and that's worked. And I'm going to continue to do that. So I hope that and there is a group that I'm a part of culturally diverse people from all over the world that are activists, advocates, experienced in this around Black Lives Matter, people, black and brown people. So if you want to create a more culturally diverse feed, there's some criteria that need to be met to apply to be, this is not my decision. It's a consensus amongst the group. If you've got over 1,000 followers and you have a public account, that's number one. Number two, you have to have a history of posting about Black Lives Matter, not just one post on Blackout Tuesday. We need to see consistency. That's who we're, and we also want people that are willing to post about this on their account daily. And also willing to listen, learn, and take the advice of the experts. So I'll include more details in the comment section below. And I'm just trying to bring more light here, everybody. And I'm sending everybody love and light. I know everybody has their own path.